Well, now that we got that out of the way, you guys, let's get right back into this. Now, how we're going to be able to remember this code business when we're working with this Bible is that four, those ideas of the four, it's just like the earth, wind, and fire business, all right? But it'd be earth, is our mind, earth, it's our mind. The sea or water, earth, water is the second one, water is the emotions, okay? And this has the moon and stuff like that, and the idea that our emotions raise and lower and stuff like that. And in our stories, this is where the last business was about a wind. A wind blew, and this is when we were talking about the second part. Number 2 says the wind came and blew towards the south, and then it turned around to blow towards the north, and it just swirlies and swirlies and swirlies, and then it comes back to him in due season, depending on his circuit. It's electrical. It's all electrical. But anyhow, it's just so beautifully how it's written and hidden at the same time. Okay, so that's the second one. The third is about our body. That's you, me, our bodies. This is where stars. This is also the third thing would be air. This is air, okay? The third stage is air or theta conscious. This is where we meet Jesus. That's why we're the third. That's our body. That's the third is our physical self, all right? We meet them, the Son of Man in the air. You can't see this because it goes on inside your body. That's why you can't grasp it. Right? And then heaven is the fourth one over on the end. All right. So vessel and things like that are what the body represents, and it's our emotions and stuff about the second part, about our mind and our emotions. And of course the body, the mind itself, its consciousness, is what's going on the outside. This is the body itself. So this is also sun, moon, and stars. All right. Or fire is the last one. Fire is generally when we have the elements. Okay. Fire is the Holy Spirit. That's the idea, that final one. All right. So what we have here is we've got, I'm going to minus you down. I'm going to pull up. We're working with Ecclesiastes, and we still have not graduated out of the second set of worlds, okay, which is going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, 5 is going to be representing the body, the brethren, the 5, which is our body itself. 6 is going to be representing the way. 7 is God's world, or the Lord's day for the 7th of the chakra. And then 8 is going to be this idea of the control. All right. So right off the bat, I can show you that it says, keep thy feet. Here, let me read it's easier to read what's on the screen here. So this is 5, Ecclesiastes 5, from the King James Version. All right. Number 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest in the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil. All right, so this is our very first thing it's talking about. And don't you know that you're supposed to take your shoes off when you go into the house of God? And here they're telling you to keep thy foot. That means this is an outside situation again, so, because you're not going that route. You're on the outside. Okay, this is an outside situation. And, and you consider not, they don't even consider themselves to have any evil in them at all. All right, so keep thy foot when you go into the house of God. That means don't take anything off. It's an idea. It's like, my God, check this out. 5 represents our body. Okay. Keep this going. The second one is be not rash with thy mouth, and don't let thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou's upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. So this is more vanity coming to life. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and fools' voices is known as a multitude of words. Words, again, is the letter, things that they see, all right? And the fourth one is, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it. Defer not to pay it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay that which has vowed, which thou hast vowed. That's 4. Interesting. This is that vow. This is that vow of separation, and at that same time that this is you're paying him back for this or something like that. This is that because we vowed to have this separation, and this is how we're doing it. We're by not being connected to him. All right. So then we got another group here, another group of 4, which is 5, 6, 7, and 8. We get better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. It's 5. 6 is usually our kundalini. This is our lift area. Suffer they not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands? This is a question. This is 6. He has destroyed the work of thine hand because you don't have any power in it. This is the 6. So this is this area, this lifting area, this place where we could go to use to find God and to get this comfort on, right? This place is gone. It's not there. For the multitudes of dreams of the many and the words, these deliver your vanities, but fear thou God. This is number 7, talking about our body. Number 7 is, for in the multitudes of dreams, this is about our Bible, and the many words, there are also diverse vanities, but fear thou God. So believing in the word is about taking on these diverse vanities. And 8, if thou seest the oppression of the poor and the violent perverting of judgments and justice in the province, marvel not at the matter. I'm going to quickly come in here. When there's a violent perversion of judgment, this is where people think that if you go this route, something really terrible is going to happen because they read what's going to be judgment and they fear it. And this is a violent perverting of the judgment and justices. That's what they're saying. If you hear this, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. All right, this is on an 8, which is a control number. So we're seeing that in this control number that we're seeing that there's oppression of the poor. This is a control number, but it's about someone being in control of. All right, there's no freedom in this one. And moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. This is 9. This is the conscious number, and it's showing that the king himself is served by the field, what is outside him. So this is a low conscious. This is a 9 that's representing the beast. All right. This is the idea that moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. And that is what comes out of the earth is for everybody. And even the king himself is served by this field. Let's keep going. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. Trying to gain, and you have this love of silver. This idea is the love of silver is is this religious call, as this is called, because this is where you toss your silver out into the street and you pick up the whore instead of taking that same silver and tossing it to God on the inside. But this is talking about, let's see, what we have here. We have, let's go to 15, because I don't want to read all of these. As he came forth of his mother's womb naked, so shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. So if you were to go through this situation, this is a number 15, which represents a 6. All right, this is where your birth and not birth. This is in the story. Said there's a time for this and that. This is where it shows up. This is came forth out of his mother's womb naked. You shall return this way. And there's also sore evil, and he points the profit of his labor of his wind, the wind that and what profit hath he that hath labored for the wind? All right. All his days also he eateth in darkness. He hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of his labor that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. This is number 18, but it represents a 9. So eat of the world, take of this outside world. This is for his portion. All right. Every man also know whom God hath given riches and wealth, and has given him unto power to eat thereof, and to take this portion, and to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of God. This is number 19, starting over again. It says this is number 19, which would be a 1, 10. If when God has given riches and wealth, and has given power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. All right. Now, this is one of the things he says. Let's back it up to number 18. Behold, that which I have seen is good and comely to eat and drink, and to enjoy the good of his labor that he done under the sun all of his days of his life, which God giveth to him, for it is his portion. And all the days that he's eaten in the darkness. All right. Let's see. What I'm getting mostly out of all this business here is that just to try to get past this 5, what you mostly do on the outside with man is that you labor for God knows who or what, but you don't get to reap the reward. You grow fruit, but you don't get to eat this fruit. And we're even talking about ourselves. We have this that we can take care and do it all ourselves. But because we don't understand God's word, that we can go within ourselves and find this food without paying for it, without and regaining back all the labor that we have put in when we were in this vow with God, that we actually took this vow to be away from him, and that during this time he's going to repay us, because he says this is what's going to happen, is that wisdom brings people back to life. All right. Well, we're going to hear that in the next one on 6. But all this noise down here, it's this idea of this portion and this portion. Well, everyone is going to get back to them what they put in. That's how it says this here. But we also know that there's a lot of people that, because they don't go in and do this emptying out, they're just constantly filling up with more and more garbage. They never clean the inside. All right. So that was the first world in the Ecclesiastes. Second world, we're going to start off. This is the sixth chapter. Six usually is the place where the food is kept. It's the second part of this. It's mostly under our emotions and under the sun, under the moon. The moon. This one here is the sun over here, okay? Stars. So there is an evil which I've seen under the sun, and it's common among men. A man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul, that of all that he desireth. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth. This is vanity, and this is an evil disease. Okay, so what we just finished talking about a second ago, or a minute or so ago, is how this second line here that deals with our emotions and the moon and all this, this is how we go and visit Jesus or God. This is where we go to get this food that we're talking about. And it said, you just don't desire anything at all. So you don't desire anything. So you are full. You are just full. And what is filling this up? Okay, it's just crazy. You're going to find out a little bit more. But because you are just so satisfied, this is also a vanity. Okay? And this is an evil disease. This is when the guys are just so complacent and so just happy that, the day comes, the day goes, and this is where you have just set yourself up so pretty while you're waiting for God, waiting for Jesus to come and reap your ass. All right, so the third one. If a man begat 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that his ultimately birth is better, his untimely birth is better than he. All right. So we want to be able to go up in here. We want to fill our soul with good. And that does take this burial, because you have to, the new you, the old you has to be buried. So there's no burial, and you've gone through all this time in life. So this is number 3. This is usually this is where we all of us get together. All of us get together in meditation. But you're not doing that, so this ain't happening. All right. For he cometh in with vanity, and he departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. That's the fourth one. Darkness is the mind being taken over everything. The intellect is the darkness of this first one. This is the sun. So this basically this is darkness when the sun goes dark. Let's start over again with 5. Moreover, he hath not seen the sun, nor known anything. He hath more rest than the other. Yea, this is number 6. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told. All right, that's a lot. Okay. Yet he hath seen no good. Do not all go to one place. This is 6. All right. This is supposed to be where you go to take care of this situation. But no, it says he's going to live all these years and never see any good, because this place here is hidden. This place is not in their mind. All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet his appetite is not filled. This is number 7. All right, talking about your mouth, physical side of us. So everything that you do is for your mouth. This should be for your spirit. That's what he's telling you about, not that outside of you. Okay. For what hath the wise more than the fool? Right? What hath the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? All right, this is 8. These are what they have on them is that the wise knows better than to be the fool. All right, and this is a short one here. Okay, that was 8. Now we got 9, 10, 11, 12. There's one more set. Better is the sight of the eyes of the wandering of the desire. This is going to be 9. The sights of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of the spirit. The wandering eye over desire. Okay, this is 9, a conscious number. So yeah, if there's something that's terrible going on here, it's not. This is the negative side. This is how they started off this whole thing, is that there is something that they noticed that's run rampant with men. All right, and that this is the person that's getting all of the goods and not God. Okay, or the soul. All right. Let's see here. Number 10. That which has been is namely already, and is known that it is man. Neither may he content with him that is mightier than he. So this is, you're not going up there. You're not going to deal with God. You're scared of him. Okay. Seeing there be many things that increase vanity, that is man the better. What is man the better? This is representing number 11, and it's talking about our every. There's so many things that help us to increase vanity. For who knoweth that it is a good, that is, who knoweth what is good for a man in this life? All the days of his vain life which he spendeth as a shadow. It's a question mark. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? All right, this represents 12. 12 is a 3. So what we get out of this here is we find that we're down at the bottom of another one. This is talking about our works. Increases in vanity. This is this idea of working with this foreigner. We're working. This is when we're going to find out when we get into the next chapter just how it is that we can gain, even within this part where we come in to do our worship with God. This is where we're supposed to go. It's our heart. It's our business that loves him so. But we want him so that we are given this whore, a strange woman, is this person that gets what we give. All right. And I thought we talked about that up here. Where would it say? For it say, a man to whom he giveth his riches, wealth, and honor, and so he wanted nothing for his soul and such like that. Yet he give, but a stranger eateth it. All right, so this was on number 2. A stranger eateth it. So they were just telling us. All right, some information from my fishing. Now, on Ecclesiastes 7, as we go on to number 7, and again, we're just going to read the first couple of words. Maybe we'll see how many there are. There's a whole mess of them. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Now, we've done this before a little bit about a week ago or so, or just earlier. A precious ointment is something that you put on the outside, and the good name is something that you work your way to on the inside. It has to do with, is your name in the book of life, all right? And that's the idea, yes. You got to go in for that to happen. All right, so it is better to go to the house of mourning than into the house of feasting. For that is at the end of all men, and the living will lay it in his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness and by continence the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Now remember, mirth is amusing. It's not going to get anywhere. It's more like it's just not going to do anything for you, and that's why they call it mirth. All right, look it up. It says here on the next group of worlds, it says, "It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools." This is really cool. I just wanted to rebuke that false prophet. It's just funny because he's preaching the song of fools. All right, and calls himself a prophet. All right, 6:6. For as the crackling of thorns under the pot, so is the laughter of fools. This is also vanity. 6 is supposed to be. This is supposed to be the ladder. This is all about going and meeting God and stuff like that. So we have this burning, the crackling of thorns under a pot. It's just like cooking. We're just cooking. We're not doing anything. And number 7 here, surely the oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. So this 7 is this idea of of the Lord's day. All right, this wise man, it makes you mad because you really believe all these guys are alive. You believe Jesus and all of that virgin births, and believe me, God knows what bad science is. Okay, and He says that you guys are so foolish. You guys, no, that's stupid. You guys, and He says we're stupid. All right, even the female when she comes to mass, why do you guys want to be so simple? Good Lord. So it says here, so 7, surely the present make life. All right, better is the end of a thing than the beginning of thereof. All right, and the patient of the spirit is better than a proud in spirit. The patient in spirit is someone who is on his way, and this patient spirit. I waited around for mine to come. I waited and waited. That's that patience of this here. But if you think you already got God in you, you really got it in there. That's a proud in spirit. Okay, and better the end of a thing than the beginning of the thing, because just as with Jacob and Esau and Jacob, they were joined in the womb as twins, and as this story would show that you have to have Esau first, and then it's Jacob that runs off with his inheritance. He's the one that comes about holding on to the heel of him. So you have to start off on something less than a good note, but you end up on something more of a higher note once you increase, when you go in, connect with God. All right, and it says, and don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to get there. Let's see what else is in this one here that we want to talk about. This is it's fairly long. Let's find out what 11 is going to do. Wisdom is good with inheritance. All right, we're about to talk about this. All right, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Okay, seeing the sun. Do you know that when you are born into darkness, that means you're dead? All right, and if they're talking about you making this trip here, this is so you can go and see the light. All right, to go and see the sun. All right, you want to see the sun. All right, and if you don't see the sun, then you've never saw the sun. Okay, that means you're still in darkness. That's what it's talking about. So it says, wisdom is good with inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Now, this is number 11. So this will be 9, 10, 11. This will be 11, will be our body. It profits. It profits the self to see the sun. For wisdom, this is number 12. It represents 3. For this is how you obtain wisdom, is when you put all of us together, which is a 3. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life, to them that have it. This is what the idea of seeing the sun is that it brings you from the death, from the darkness, brings you from this side of the mind over to this side of the mind. You go from darkness and death from our lower mind to going through the business, right? And making it over to this other side where then everything is made even. All right? And everything you're cooking with God. All right, so consider the work of God. This is going to be a new world. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked. This is number 13. It's representing 4, our world. God made us crooked. Who can make straight the way of the Lord? That God made crooked in the first place. Who can do that, you guys? We can do that. No preacher, no nothing. Only you can do it. All right. In the day of prosperity, be joyful. But in the day of adversity, consider God also has set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. This is number 14. This represents a 5. That particular day, you want you to be joyful. Okay? All right? This is number 7. 7 is supposed to be the day of the Lord. All right? And where are we at? Consider the work of God. Now, 14. Let's see. We have, hang on. 9, 10, 11, 12. For wisdom is defense. Okay, we got that. Consider the work of God, who can make that the part of us that if what God made crooked, who can straighten it out? In the day of prophecy, be joyful. All right, and then we got all things have I seen in the days of all my vanity. There is just a man that perish in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. So this is 15. 15 is representing 15 is representing 6. Okay, the body. So all things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is just man that perishes in his righteousness. This is just someone in his own righteousness. Some guy perishes. And there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. So, because you never went to get cleaned out. You never go and take care of it. When you die, it's just going right back out there again to the same old crap. That's how this is working. This is number 15, which represents a 6. You've never taken this up there. This body here has never gone in and got a cleansing. So it's just full crap. All right. And the final one is here, 16. Be not righteous overmuch, neither make thyself overwise. Thou shouldst destroy thyself. This is 16, which represents 7. You want to destroy yourself. Be not overmuch the wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldst thou die before thy time? Why should I die before thy time? Because this is something. Because when we die, we can die anytime you want to. While you're alive, you got to do it now. But you're like, oh, why die now? I can live for a little while longer. Because this is the vanity. This is vanity. It is good that thou shouldest take hold of this. Yea. Withdraw not thine hand, for he that feareth God shall come forth from all. Wisdom, strength, the wise man, the 10 mighty men. Oh, okay, so showing you all the wonderful things that happen if you were to go this other route, that you get the strength of 10 men. Lolly da. What other pieces of information did we want to get out of this? See what 27. Behold, I have found, saith the preacher. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is what got us on this whole business in the first place. Number 25. 25 is representing 7. I applied mine heart to know, and to search, and to seek out wisdom, and to know reasons of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even the foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleases God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the count, which yet my soul seeketh, and I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but that he sought out many inventions. Okay, so that would talk about this business of that there's no that nobody's honoring mother and father. No one you should be understanding this. It's hard for me to keep coming up with all these different ways of trying to say the same thing. The heart, the snares, the business, the woman, how to escape from her. This is number 26. What is that? 6, 7, 8. You got to get away from her. Those people that pleases God have got to escape from her. She is a strange woman. Okay. And she's representing the religion. Okay. And we're going to go on to the final world in this business here. Thank God. We still have a whole another patch. Who is as a wise man? Who knoweth the interpretations of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. His face. And the boldness of his face shall be changed. I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment, that in regard to the oath of God, be not hasty to go out of his sight. Stand not into an evil thing, for he doeth whatever pleases him. Where the word of the God is, where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, what dost thou? Whosoever keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing. And a wise man's heart is discerneth both time and judgment. Because to every purpose there is time and judgment. There is misery of man is great upon him. This is the 6th one. 5, 6. This one. Because of every purpose in time, there is misery of man is great upon him. So this is where our problem starts. 6, 7. For he knoweth not that which shall be. For who can tell him when it shall be? This is 7. It's the day of the Lord. Who knows when it's going to be? Who can tell him when it can be? This is number 7. All right. Number 7 right here. The body part. All right. For he knoweth not that which shall be. For who can tell him when it shall be? When will that day of the Lord be? There is no man that had the power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither had the power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. All right, this is 8 is a control number. 8 is telling you that when you make it over to this side, not even the evil can touch you or try to deliver you. No one has the power over that. This is all about God. This is number 8. This comes in here. All right. And he says, on number 9, this is a conscious number, the beginning of another world. It says, and this have I seen and applied into my heart every work that is done under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. So this conscious number 9 is showing you that someone else is ruling over you. There is going to be this situation, and this is what it says, a man ruling over another man. This is not freedom. This is not 9, conscious 9, where you are ruling over yourself. All right? Someone else is ruling over. All right? Oh, so I saw the wicked buried, come to one place, all in forgotten city. It's it's basically, this 8 is talking about our control number. It goes on to tell you what you would have got some really nice things at the beginning. Who knows this about the man? Who knows that you could do this? Well, and then all of a sudden comes hell. All right. There is so much vanity that can become about in this vanity while you're living as a shadow, because let's look at here, number 15. 15 should be a 6. Then I commended mirth, laughter, because a man has no better thing under the sun than to eat, and to drink, and to be merry, for that shall abide with him all of his labors, the days of his life, which God giveth him under the sun. This is everything that's outside is given to God, given to man. This everything under the sun. Okay, this is not inside. This is not in the dark. This isn't in the shadow of death. But everything on the outside is given to man to do what the hell they want to with. Okay, that's really showing you that outside world is given to the beast. Okay, given to the devil. It's the devil's domain. Okay, and 16, when I applied mine heart to know wisdom and to know business that is done upon the earth. Business, that's the business is religion. The business, they give us the business, all right? And behold, all the works of God that man cannot find out, the work is done under the sun, because thou, man, laboreth to seek it out, he shall not find it. Yea, farther, though a wise man think to know it, yet shall he not be able to find it. Okay? All of this is about, well, we can talk about it being this prophet dude that, here he's got all the answers. I'm going to have to get in. I'm going to have to talk about this for a second. I don't have all the answers. What I am answering and what information we are both uncovering at the same time are what's in our Bible. It's not telling us about any kind of prophet. But most of what we're doing is it's teaching us how to understand the Bible correctly, and that there is no a prophet can't come out and say that something's going to come and hit us tomorrow, or something's going to come and do this. That's not the kind of a prophet that a prophet says. The prophet says, the end is near. Did you know that you can just go and sit down in that corner over there and meditate? And if you fear God enough, that there's just a chance that by the time you come back down from this little experience, that you could have, been connected to God during that time. Did you know that just happened just like that? But yeah, that's the science behind here. Not just anybody, but just someone who cares about God enough to take his own understanding and put it away and do what the Bible tells us to do, what God shows us what to do. And that means to go on the inside, because all what is going on the outside is vanity, and it pisses off the spirit, and it just makes the spirit further and further away from you. And so when we finally get over onto this other side, that tromping on God's word and making him out to be this terrible person, and that we ourselves are going to be going through some awful change when we go through this judgment, and we fear this so much that it just becomes a walk in the park, you know. And that's what he's telling us. Don't be fearing us. Don't be doing all this. But, you know, if that's the way it is, yeah, fear me. Fear me. But anyways, that's the next 4 parts of this. And you can tell that it's just we're basically, you know, we're talking about as we came into this world, as we're leaving it, as we are. Most people are dead on this earth. There's not very many people that are alive. I'm sure that this is not the best news that you've heard this week, but this particular scripture has all of us, you know, doing nothing. Not one person is serving God. Not one person is connected to God. But did you understand this, that this is his will? This is God's will that we do this first. It's God's will that we serve this other guy for God knows how long, and that's Satan, okay? The only time is when we finally have had enough, and it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people that get that. There are more people that have to keep doing this and are fooled, and they do this in vain. They pray in vain. They serve God in vain. Instead, they are serving Father alone, and Father is not God, okay? Father is not God, but it's part of God, and we're asked to serve him. Very interesting. Well, I'm past serving him. I'm on the other side now, and I'm trying to bring other people with me. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.